I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain for Investment Pitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Roger Ver, CEO of Bitcoin.com. Roger, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you, Ashton.
You're very welcome. Let's kick it off by talking about Bitcoin Cash. Could you please start by giving us the 30-second pitch on why Bitcoin Cash brings benefit to the people and it empowers people?
Sure. Bitcoin Cash allows anyone, anywhere in the world to send and receive any amount of money with anyone, anywhere else, instantly, basically for free, and there's nothing that anyone can do to stop it. And that's the same exact pitch that I started giving to people about Bitcoin back in 2011. Sadly, that pitch is no longer true about the thing everyone's calling Bitcoin, but it's still true about Bitcoin Cash today. So I'm excited about Bitcoin Cash today for all the same reasons I got excited about Bitcoin back in 2011 and became the very first person in the entire world to start investing in this ecosystem.
That's amazing, Roger. And yeah, I read that Bitcoin Cash touts that it maintains the original properties of Bitcoin more so than Bitcoin or Bitcoin Core. What are those properties? And why doesn't Bitcoin Core maintain those properties as well as Bitcoin Cash?
Sure. So Bitcoin Cash has fast, cheap, reliable transactions. The thing that everybody's calling Bitcoin today has been hijacked by a bunch of people that don't even want it to be usable as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, even though that was the very title of the original white paper that described Bitcoin. In fact, the software developers that are maintaining the main core repo for what everyone's calling Bitcoin, they openly say that they want the fees to be high. They want the transactions to be slow and unreliable because they've instituted this artificial block size limit on the blockchain of what everyone's calling Bitcoin. So the thing that everyone's calling Bitcoin today, yeah, it has the Bitcoin name, but it's not the Bitcoin that became popular to begin with. And it doesn't have any of the fundamental characteristics that made it a worldwide phenomenon that it is today, whereas Bitcoin Cash still has all of those things. So I'm much, much more bullish about Bitcoin Cash today than I am about the thing that everyone's calling Bitcoin in the media.
That's very interesting. And yeah, I've always seen it as a trade-off between decentralization and scalability, or at least so it seems, that there's been this political turmoil where if we try to increase the scalability, we lose that decentralization. Is that true?
There can be an argument made about that, but I think a lot of people are missing the whole point. This decentralization isn't the goal. Decentralization is the tool that we use to achieve, control over our own money without having to get permission from a corporation or a bank or a government to use that money. So the goal isn't an infinite amount of decentralization. The goal is an infinite amount of censorship resistance and making the best money we possibly can for the world. And BTC with high fees and slow, unreliable transactions, that's not good money. Whereas Bitcoin Cash transactions are lightning fast, super cheap, and super reliable. So that's great money for the world. And that's why I've started using Bitcoin Cash for all of my own business dealings.
That makes sense. But as well, money is only as useful or it is really useful if people use it, right? There's a lot of people who know about cryptocurrencies who don't actively own it or use it because they think nobody else is using it or nobody is accepting it. In terms of Bitcoin Cash, do you have any idea of how many people are using it to pay for things and how many people are accepting Bitcoin Cash as a currency?
Well, because of its decentralized nature, there's no official company or no official website, or there's no official way to track any of it. We don't actually know how many people are using it or what they're using it for. But one of my own favorite use cases is a website called purse.io, where anyone can save 20 or 25% off every single purchase from Amazon by using Bitcoin Cash. And I know, everyone around me in my own life is using that website because it's such a substantial savings on Amazon. So that's a great way for people to use Bitcoin Cash right now today to make their lives better.
That's an interesting tip. One thing that's also very important about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is using mining to secure the integrity of the network. There's tons of Bitcoin miners around the world that are mining Bitcoin and securing the network. Now, what is the comparison to Bitcoin Cash? What does the mining look like? And is it as secure as the people that are securing the Bitcoin network right now?
So again, a lot of people get confused and think that you need an infinite level of security. You just need enough security so that nobody can mess with the system. And so Bitcoin Cash and the thing that everyone's calling Bitcoin today, BTC, use the exact same mining algorithm and the exact same mining hardware. And the people that are mining one coin actually switch back and forth often from one coin to the other, depending on which one's more profitable to mine at that particular day. So the method of securing both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core is exactly the same today.
Yeah, I agree with you that you don't need infinite levels of security, but I guess enough to prevent a 51% attack or enough to, not have somebody take over the network or produce their own fake blocks or fake money.
Or an example of this is if you have $1,000 you want to store in a safe, you don't need the safe to require $1 million worth of effort to open it. You just need it to require something more than $1,000 worth of effort, and then people won't break the safe open. So you just need enough security. You don't need an infinite amount of security.
True. And I guess with the increase in value of the coin, as the market cap increases, more people start mining it because of the profitability, and that increases the security as well, right?
Exactly. There's a fantastic self-reinforcing feedback mechanism. The more value that's being transacted on the chain, the more secure the chain becomes.
Now, I've heard rumors with Bitcoin mining that there is 3 or 4 different groups that really control nearly the majority of the mining and have the potential to change, have more than 51% of the value. Is that the same? Is that true? Do you know of? And is that similar in Bitcoin Cash?
Yeah, I don't think that that's true any more than that there's 3 or 4 groups that control the whole world and they're behind the scenes pulling strings. Like there's Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core miners all over the world, thousands and thousands of them all over the place with, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of equipment busy securing the network. So there's no single place or single group of people that you can go to control who's doing what with their mining equipment.
That's great. It really is a global effort. And speaking of that, there's a lot of people that are interested in learning more about Bitcoin Cash and cryptocurrencies. Where are the Bitcoin Cash community events? I know a lot of people, when they're looking to find out more information, they want to go in person and talk to somebody and not just read. So is there a place where there's Bitcoin Cash community events held regularly? And where can people go to find that out?
So here in Tokyo, we have Bitcoin Cash meetups every single Wednesday with a fantastic turnout, and there's more places accepting Bitcoin Cash in Japan than there are accepting Bitcoin Core. So I would say the 2, maybe 3 main websites for people to find out more about Bitcoin Cash are, of course, Bitcoin.com, and then there's meetup groups all over the world. So the legacy website for that is meetup.com, but a new and upcoming website to help organize that is EventChain.io. That I hear lots of people are using to organize Bitcoin Cash meetups around the world. And if there isn't one already in your town, I invite you to start one because you'll get to meet all sorts of super interesting, smart people that live near you that are interested in the same sort of things you are. And it's a great way to make new friends and talk to interesting people. So go and join your local meetup today or start one if there's not one already where you're at.
Amazing. Thank you, Roger. And yes, EventChain is doing its part to help grow the community. And speaking of that, in a decentralized nature, anybody really has the ability to go create a Bitcoin Cash meetup and become an organizer and bring people together and bring awareness of, empowering currency and bringing the power back to the people.
That's right. So don't waste time. Life is short. Get started today.
Especially when cryptocurrency markets run 24 hours a day. Unlike the stock market, it's always going, right? And most people that are in cryptocurrency, they don't sleep too much because they're not only is it because the market's running all the time, is that they're just super excited about this technology and how revolutionary it is and the progress that's made in the first 10 years of it. We're really just at the very beginning right now. And would you say we're sort of in the inception or wave 1 of this revolution and this movement? Or have we progressed far enough to call it, getting close to mainstream adoption?
We're still nowhere near close to mainstream adoption, but we're starting to get close to having mainstream attention. And that's the step towards adoption. So I'm old enough to remember when the internet really became popular. And I think we're seeing the exact same sort of thing happen here with cryptocurrencies. There are more people and businesses and industries are starting to pay attention and figure out how they can use this technology to improve their lives and the customer experience and everything that they're up to. Just like in the earliest days of the internet, people were doing the same thing with that. So I'm not sure if he's right, but a friend of mine was claiming that the reason the internet's so important is because it enabled the blockchain. And I don't know if that's accurate, but it certainly was an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah, I guess time will tell on that one. And for the catalyst of this movement, do you see specific events coming? A lot of people, in terms of cryptocurrencies, getting the traditional stock market in and traditional investors, they see Bitcoin ETFs and other traditional financial derivatives as an accelerator towards cryptocurrency adoption. Do you see that as true, or do you think by word of mouth, people just learn more about cryptocurrencies and eventually see the benefits and start using them?
Yeah, so I think the cryptocurrencies have to have an underlying use case, and it shouldn't just be speculators speculating on other speculators. And so the reason people buy stocks is because they think that the company that stock is a share in is going to be producing some sort of useful service to the world and be able to earn money and be able to eventually pay dividends or something with the stock there. So that's why people buy stock. They don't just buy it to speculate on absolutely nothing. There's an underlying economic use case taking place behind that stock. And so I think the same is true of all these different cryptocurrencies. They have to actually be useful for something in order for them to have a long-term value. And if there's no underlying economic use case, then the long-term price is going to head towards zero, I think. So, but Bitcoin Cash and any cryptocurrency that's actually being used as a currency or used for something, I'm incredibly bullish on. So I'm a fan of anything that works, and if it's useful to people, they're going to use it. And so Bitcoin Cash is one of many that are on my list of useful cryptocurrencies around the world.
That's awesome. And what do you see the future of Bitcoin Cash, especially in 2019, the rest of it? It's a very important year as there seems to be some recovery from the last drop, and the mainstream attention has sort of been put into the background as the prices went down. And then as they go up this next time, what do you see as the catalyst for Bitcoin Cash? Is there development that's happening that's going to accelerate it further? Or is it really just focused on user adoption?
Well, the user adoption is driven by the usefulness. And so Bitcoin Cash has super fast, super cheap, super reliable transactions anywhere in the world. Plus, there's this giant token ecosystem being built on top of Bitcoin Cash where people can tokenize anything they want. And Bitcoin Cash's token system is much, much more scalable than other coins out there. So it's a fantastic combination of fantastic peer-to-peer cash and fantastic peer-to-peer tokens. And we have almost 4 million wallets created in our Bitcoin.com wallet. We're about to roll out full token support to all of those 4 million wallets, as well as the Bitcoin Cash support that they already have. So, and we're adding about 10,000 new users a day to our Bitcoin.com wallet. So it's a substantial growth pace there, and we're looking forward to that increasing even more this year. So, short answer is if things are useful, people are going to use it, and Bitcoin Cash is incredibly useful.
That is a substantial amount of users. So congratulations so far to that team that's growing that. Now, for the people that are just getting into cryptocurrencies, could you make the comparison that these Bitcoin Cash tokens are sort of like Ethereum tokens, and would they be used as a fundraising mechanism to do an ICO, or is it more just a subsidiary of Bitcoin Cash?
So there's already been a number of ICO tokens based on Bitcoin Cash, and I'm a big fan of Ethereum. I don't have anything bad to say about Ethereum. Ethereum was amazing, and Vitalik was an amazing guy for having created that. But Bitcoin Cash transactions are about 100 times cheaper than Ethereum transactions. They're looking at like a 20th of a cent for Bitcoin Cash transactions versus maybe 10 cents for Ethereum at the moment. And they're about 10 times faster too, about a second and a half versus about 10 seconds for Ethereum. So 10 times faster and 100 times cheaper. That makes for a really compelling use case. Plus, we're going to be rolled out to the Bitcoin.com wallet for everybody. So that'll be by far the most popular, biggest mobile token wallet in the entire world. So we've already seen businesses like Alliance Cargo Direct, which is a sub-company of ANA Group, which is the biggest airline in all of Japan. We have central banks looking at doing their tokens on top of Bitcoin Cash. We have rewards loyalty companies doing their tokens on top of Bitcoin Cash. We have all sorts of groups doing tokens on top of Bitcoin Cash all over the world because, and another thing, so like Ethereum is great, but every single Ethereum node has to validate every single token transaction on the Ethereum network. So if you get a CryptoKitties or some really popular token on Ethereum, the entire Ethereum network clogs up and kind of grinds to a halt and the fees skyrocket. On Bitcoin Cash, your Bitcoin Cash node only has to validate the transactions that your node cares about when it comes to the tokens. So even if there's an incredibly popular CryptoKitties or something like that on Bitcoin Cash, the network doesn't slow down, the fees don't skyrocket, the network keeps right on going super fast, super cheaply, and super reliably. And so that's a really, really big benefit that Bitcoin Cash has going for it at the moment.
That definitely sounds beneficial. And for the people that have been in cryptocurrency for a few years, they've followed along with the scalability issues of Ethereum. And I experienced CryptoKitties firsthand as well and saw that the network broke, the fees get really high. But one of the advantages to Ethereum over Bitcoin that people know about is that the utilization of smart contracts and decentralized autonomous organizations and things like that. Does Bitcoin Cash have the ability to do those smart contracts that Ethereum can do? And if not, is it going to have that ability in the future?
Yeah, it has most of the same ability to do smart contracts, and it has a full scripting language there that you can do all sorts of fancy things on top of Bitcoin Cash that even BTC can't do at the moment. So it's really exciting to see the amount of infrastructure being built on top of Bitcoin Cash.
That's amazing. Now, what would you say is the biggest challenge in growing Bitcoin Cash right now? Is it user adoption, political turmoil, need more development resources, or we're simply just waiting for the bull market? What challenges do you foresee as growth occurs?
I think the biggest challenges are building the software tools to make Bitcoin Cash more useful than Bank of America or JP Morgan Chase or all the PayPal or all the traditional financial systems that people are using right now. And it doesn't have to be just a little bit better. It has to be significantly better in order to get people to switch. So maybe an order of magnitude better. And so we're working on building all the tools with our Bitcoin.com wallet and the tokens and all this other stuff to make it significantly faster, better, cheaper, more reliable than your Visa, your PayPal, your MasterCard, your wire transfer, whatever it is that people are using currently. We want to make Bitcoin Cash much faster, cheaper, and more reliable so that people are incentivized to switch because it's more useful to them in their lives. And that's what we're busy doing. And we're having good success at that already, and we're going to have even more success in the future.
I agree. And in this world of exponential growth and disruption, you really do need a product that is 10 times better than the last for people to make that switch and see the significant difference in that value. So when do you foresee, through the development that the Bitcoin Cash team is working on, when are we going to see that 10 times better product? Is it going to be this year, or is it throughout the next coming years?
Well, I think it's already 10 times better than the Bank of America account I had a decade ago. But the banks aren't standing still either. They're working to improve their product, and that's the beauty of the market is everybody's competing to cooperate better. So all this competition leads to a better quality product for us, the consumers, and we get to have better products at a cheaper price. So this is a great thing, and I want everyone else to step up their game too, so that the entire world becomes a better place faster and faster than it otherwise would have been without this competition. So if you haven't tried it already, go to bitcoin.com, download the wallet. If you go to free.bitcoin.com, we're giving out free Bitcoin Cash to everybody. And you can see firsthand, this is an amazing, super fast, super cheap, reliable form of money. And then you can save 25% off every purchase on Amazon using Purse.io. That's a pretty compelling use case right now today.
Amazing. Roger Ver, CEO of Bitcoin.com. It's been a pleasure speaking to you today. I'm looking forward to seeing the growth of Bitcoin.com. And I thank you for your time, and I look forward to speaking to you in the future.
See you next time.